So let's talk about dealing with diversity. I think the perfect example is what happened when the pandemic came about in 2020. I own a commercial cleaning company, and at the time, all of our contracts were basically what we call reoccurring income, meaning that my employees would go into the building on a daily basis. But when the pandemic came, you have to think about it. All of the businesses and all of the buildings basically shut down. So there are two problems that company had at that moment. One, if people aren't there, how can you service a building? And the building owners know this. Number two, we're thinking, okay, now we're going to be out of income because, we're in the middle of a shutdown. So think about that. At that particular moment, the whole business is at risk. So what do? I had to take off my general manager's hat and really go back into the business and figure out what we were going to do to move the company in the right direction. Two things I had to do. One, had to renegotiate a ton of contracts. And they weren't permanently renegotiated, but they definitely were negotiated all over again. So we had to go back to the map with these owners and go, okay, what are we going to do to move us in the right direction again? Number two, we had to figure out what was going to be our source of income because the entire situation had gone south. Well, what we did was we reinvented the wheel. It was very, very important at that moment to understand that pandemics create problems, but they also can create opportunities. What was important to us was how could we remarket our services? It became very important for those that still had to work in their buildings that those buildings would be now deemed safe. And how do you make a building safe? You have to do what we call a COVID deep clean. So we recreated our teams, bought new equipment, remarketed the service, and guess what? That became a really huge source of income for that company. What's my point here? In the middle of adversity, you have to find a way to still be successful. This is a challenge that every company faced during that period of time. Some failed, some succeeded. Understanding that every situation has a resolution, if you're trying to find that resolution, will help you push forward in business. So adaptability is incredibly important if you want to be successful.